Hi everyone. Today I just want to make a quick video about an article I read. It was just recently published. It's called Inside the Culture of Sexism at Riot Games, and it's on Kotaku. It's written by Cecilia D'Anastasio, and Riot Games, if you don't know, and I didn't before I read this article, Riot Games make League of Legends, which is a very popular online multiplayer game. It's an expose featuring many stories from women and I think men who have worked at Riot Games, talking about the culture there and how sexist it is. They call it multiple times, they refer to it as a kind of bro culture. I do sympathise with a lot of the women in these stories who are talking about they're being sexualised by people in the workplace, being shown pictures of genitalia by people they've worked with, just experiencing a not very professional environment that they found uncomfortable. But I mostly just want to talk about one story right at the start of the article about a lady called Lacey, who's not her real name. It's a common story that you hear a lot in relation to feminism about how women are not listened to in the workplace and how they have to wait for men to repeat their ideas for those ideas to be recognised. This is just another one of those stories. One day, Lacey conducted an experiment. After an idea she really believed in fell flat during a meeting, she asked a male colleague to present the same idea to the same group of people, days later. He was sceptical, but she insisted that he give it a shot. Lo and behold, the week after that, he went in, presented exactly as I did, and the whole room was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." His face turned beet red and he had tears in his eyes, said Lacey. They just didn't respect women. And that's like I said, that's a common story that you hear about women in the workplace not being listened to. I would have believed that story. It's completely believable that an idea wouldn't be noticed as much the first time as it is the second time people hear it. And maybe there is a gender bias going on, that the idea being presented by a woman would have to be presented by a man for it to be listened to. That's not completely unbelievable. What is completely unbelievable is that the colluder in this experiment, the male colleague, would turn beet red and have tears in his eyes. It's like those stories you hear about unbelievable things happening in public and then everybody present clapping. But it is those details where they just push it too far that make the whole story unbelievable. If you saw my last video, you'll know that it's about a similar story of an injustice that happened that ended up not being true. Although in that case, the person came forward and said that it wasn't true. There's so many instances where that isn't really possible. We'll never find out if this particular story ever really happened or not. It's just not verifiable or unverifiable. I just thought it was kind of funny and a good excuse to talk about this phenomenon that feminists talk about a lot. The idea was featured in Women and Power by Mary Beard, which is a book I've reviewed on this channel. Yeah, it's this little book here. She calls it the Miss Triggs problem after this comic. It's a comic of a meeting with all men and one woman, and the caption says, "That's an excellent suggestion, Miss Triggs. Perhaps one of the men here would like to make it." And Mary Beard goes on to talk about how this phenomenon is used to silence women, although the ideas get heard in the end anyway, so I don't think it really counts as silencing women. Obviously, it's not very nice for the people this happens to, whether they be male or female. People like to be given credit for their ideas and for their suggestions. I would certainly like to see some data on how often this does happen to women compared to men, but so far I haven't seen any. A lot of the other stories in the Kotaku article about Riot Games are much more believable, and I have no reason to doubt them, and I feel very bad for the women who went through that kind of experience. But I think it does devalue it when they lead the article with this unbelievable story. That's all I have to say today. This is just a quick video, a midweek post for you. I'll try to post something this weekend, possibly a collaboration with Benjamin Boyce, which he has expressed an interest in. So look out for my regular weekend post, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for watching.